Yes, guys, welcome back to Chasing Green Arrows. It's a big one. It's a big one because this is chip week. This is absolutely chip week. Sound like I said something different there. I didn't. Hello to all the chasers in the chat. Hello to everyone watching on catch up. Hello to Mr. Dean. Dean, where are you, mate? Dean is coming. Dean will be here in a matter of minutes, I have no doubt. But until he comes, well, let's have a chat. How did your game week go? For many, it was a green arrow on bench boost. Congrats. Loads were in bench boost. If you've wildcarded, I'm sure you had a green as well. For others like me, it was a case of being like, oh, let's just get through it with a grey arrow. And I guess I'll take that. Homegrown FPL, 17k. That is ridiculous. But look, today's show is all going to be about, do we bench boost? Do we free hit? And I did do a poll on Twitter. Let's have a look at that poll result because I said, what chip are you using this week, guys? This is the engaged FPL manager poll. This is not the masses, but this is the community on X. And this had, I don't know, nearly 1,200 votes. 30%, 3 in every 10 managers, they're on wildcard. I thought that would be the most popular. I knew free hit would only be a few percent, and it is. But triple captain, 40%. 40% are on Erling Haaland triple captain. Now, look, maybe that's the play. And then there's about 25% of managers, 1 in every 4 that aren't using a chip. Let us know in the chat what chip you're using and why. My initial hot take from this is it's hard to digest in 60 seconds or so, but my hot take is that you need Haaland this week, right? Of course, I think we all know that. But can you get to him without wildcard? If you can, then maybe it's an unbelievable opportunity to use a triple captainship. And we're going to talk about that later in the show. I've got an amazing graphic to show you where I've gone through all the best weeks for Haaland and Salah, and I'm going to compare the fixtures they've got either side of those weeks. And I think the answer might just be Erling Haaland game week 6. But first, Mr. Dean Jones is in the house. Dean, how did you get on this weekend, mate? Good to see you.
Hello, mate. Hello, everybody. Yeah, good. Got a green arrow. 50. How many points? 59 points.
Oh, Lord.
So that was absolutely fine. Reijnders on the bench with 9 points was a little bit painful because I picked Declan Rice instead of him, who got 3 points. But that's because the chasers told me to do that. So I blame all of them instead because they told me to pick him instead of one of the defenders. So I did end up dropping Van Heck out the team, kept Van der Ven.
Yes.
And brought Declan Rice into midfield. So in fairness, Reijnders was never really going to be my choice. So I can't really have any qualms about that. But 59 points is fine, except for the fact that both of my kids are doing better than me, mate. Both my kids.
Which means they're both doing better than me. Fantastic.
Yeah.
How old are they?
5 and 7.
Excellent.
Yeah, 5 and 7. They both got 62 points this week. Both picked their team Friday night. One of them, the 7-year-old Dylan, has 12 more points than me in the actual game overall. The 5-year-old, thankfully, is 30 points behind me. But
so about where I am, probably.
Yeah, 257 points. That probably is about your score, actually.
I'm going to check. I don't know my rank or points. I try and avoid it at this point of the season, but I'm going to check how many points am I on. What's he on? Your youngest?
He's on 257.
Amazing. 253 for me.
He's 5.
Can you let your 5-year-old how many hours I plow into FPL each week?
Mate, honestly, just pretend you're 5. Michael says, G is great, but Dean speaks the most sense. Captaining Haaland saved me. Keep up the good work. Yeah, I didn't captain Haaland, but obviously I did have him. Didn't take my own advice once again. But obviously I did a video. I captained Salah.
You did go Salah.
Yeah. But obviously I just couldn't understand, could I, that nobody was trusting Haaland for this fixture. I said, Arsenal are going to concede goals this season, people. They are not going to never concede a goal again. And I don't know if I did it here on Ranks, described how they would score the goal by getting at the defence, slipping a ball in, Haaland would get in behind, and that's how he would score. And it happened. And that was just there. The signs were there from their European game days earlier that was the way that you get joy out of the Arsenal defence. And that's exactly how it came. CH says this is a great ad for FPL. Even a 5-year-old can play. Yeah, I don't know if technically they're allowed to play, are they? But yeah, he has a team through his mum's email address. So yeah, Haaland is the must-have. I know that loads of people are going to now sell Salah and are going to choose Haaland.
They've already done it. Loads have already done it. It's mad.
I mean, Let's
do a poll. Are you going to own Salah in game week 6? Yes or no? To the chasers. Will Salah be in your game week 6 team? And I bet no is more popular than yes.
Really? Okay, yeah, get that poll up because I will be interested to see what's going on there. Liverpool have Crystal Palace away next. Now, actually, I'll be honest, I can see Crystal Palace beating them.
I mean,
Given
Palace against big teams are awesome.
Palace are great this season. They are, where are they table? Fifth? Yeah. Unbeaten so far. So apart from Liverpool, the only team that are unbeaten. And they kind of have a sense of nothing to lose in this game apart from that unbeaten record. But why not go for it? Like they will put up a performance against Liverpool that is cagey in one respect, but they'll also go for it. Mateta looks like an absolute beast at the moment, by the way. I'm not sure if it's that away shirt or what, but Mateta, he looks like something from a movie.
Because he tucks his shirts in.
He tucks his shirt in. It's basically, he goes see through that shirt, and he's just like an absolute rock, Mateta. I'll be terrified of marking that guy. And yeah, I kind of wish I had him in my team right now. So I do actually give Crystal Palace a chance of upsetting Liverpool, but Salah, Crystal Palace away, still think is a good own, and I think Salah's going to continue to be a good own. So I still don't see why, for at least up until the Christmas period, you're not on Salah as well as Haaland. I know people are starting to point towards the trends of last season and how things drifted and stuff for him. I'm not changing it. I'm going with both.
Salah will be off to AFCON punter, game week 16, where we'll also be given 5 additional transfers from FPL if we've got 0 transfers in the bank. I'm with you, Dean. I think I want Salah in my team, and I'm not using a wild card this week, and I'm going Salah and Haaland for free, and I've been planning it for weeks, as you know.
Yep.
More so than your 5-year-old, might add. But
they haven't got Salah, by the way. Neither of them has Salah, by the way.
Oh, okay. If I was on wildcard, I actually don't think I would be going Mo Salah, because if you go Salah and Haaland and that structure, which I've got for my actual team, fair enough, you then can't have the Brunos, the Semenyos, the Ndais, Gyökeres. You can probably only have like one of those extras. And I mean, Ndai's only 6.5, but the others are all like 7.5 to 9. And you can't have that luxury. If you go just Haaland, you can wildcard Semenyo, Bruno, Ndai, and Gyökeres all in your team with Haaland. And that's the template. And actually, in a couple of days' time on this channel, I will reveal the wildcard template as though I see it. And that's going off what content creators are pretty much doing. And by the way, guys, I think if you take probably, I don't know, let's say the top 10 FPL YouTubers in terms of subscriber numbers, this is just a guess. I'd say probably 7 of them are on wildcard this week. Like, it's going to be huge, because when the people's favorite content creators are on a chip, the vast majority will follow. Worth noting, the biggest, Let's Talk FPL, he's not on wildcard. He wildcarded a couple of weeks ago, but still, there's going to be a huge amount that follow the rest. Not to say it's the wrong thing. I absolutely love the wildcard team this week, and I get why people are doing it. It's a means to an end for many, though. It's because it's the only way they can viably get Erling Haaland in. But to do that, they are ditching Salah. If you're on wildcard right now, should we go triple captain first or wildcard? Chasers, let us know in the chat. Do you want us to talk wildcard or triple captain? The first 5 answers in the chat, we will go off. Yeah. Get your comments in. Spam away. Spam away.
Haaland has 46 points so far this season, G. Have you owned him for any of those points?
I've not owned him. And
you haven't owned him at all?
The annoying thing is, come game week 3, I had the money in my bank to get to him, or 4, and I stuck with Watkins, and I've had 6 million sat there.
So that gap, literally, from me to you, like the gap that exists between our points is basically Haaland. Yeah. That's literally the choice that's made that difference.
Maliki, CH, Ryan, 3 of our members / chasers / mods have said TC. So let's do triple captain first. We will get to wildcard in a minute, guys. Dean, I've done it. I've been doing my research. And I've got to hit you with a hell of an asset here. This is some bad PowerPoint from me, which I think is going to be a bit blurry, but the rest is in a clear tweet. So let's have a look at what I've produced.
Yeah, nice.
Pretty much. If you're looking at triple captain, let's just assume we're looking at Haaland, Salah only between now and game week 19. Then let's take the fixtures. What weeks might we do it? Well, straight away you go newly promoted teams at home, but also let's give a bit more respect to newly promoted teams this year. I think it's not just them. We probably need to include West Ham if Potter's still there, and Wolves. They're the 5 you might want to play.
Yeah.
Is that fair, Dean, for triple captain before we move on? Are they the 5 fixtures at home you would chase? before we talk individual games?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I've put Forest in there for Salah because I just feel like Forest on the road could be kamikaze Postecoglou approach.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So I've looked at them between now and game week 19. It's worth noting, if you're going home games only, Mo Salah only plays one of the newly promoted teams at home before he goes to AFCON. He's then got 2 other good fixtures at home, but in like game weeks 18 and 19 where he'll be at AFCON. We've got Salah on the top, Haaland at the bottom by the fixtures, by the way. Haaland plays all 3 newly promoted teams at home by game week 15. So straight away, it's like, oh, okay, you got home. Now, you could look at away games. I just feel like with triple captain, I'm more likely to go home than away. It's just that comfort blanket. So let's start with Mo Salah. First up, indeed, I'm going to get your reaction on all 4 of these games. Game week 12 for Salah. Forest, good fixture in 12 for Salah. First game after the international break puts me off a little bit. And Forest isn't perhaps as attractive as a newly promoted team. Thoughts?
That's debatable. I think Forest are an attractive team to target at the moment. Yeah, I mean, I would be happy to target them at that moment. A 3:00 kickoff against Nottingham Forest at home with Ange Postecoglou. I think Salah against that team is a very decent pick. I think that there are better picks for Haaland at the moment, but as a Salah choice, I think it's very strong. The international break doesn't really interest me. That's fine.
Game week 14, he plays Sunderland at home. This is his one newly promoted team he's going to face at Anfield.
Okay.
But annoyingly, there's a midweek round of Premier League action. So 3 days before, he does have West Ham away. And it's just that congestion of he's got a midweek fixture. Sure, it's a fine game against Sunderland. It's worth noting the Sunderland probably looking the best of the newly promoted teams, I'd say. I don't see a battering there against Sunderland.
I mean, it's definitely possible, though.
And by 14, we don't know what's the landscape.
I mean, don't be too convinced that Sunderland are suddenly going to end up in the top 10. There's a long way to go. They've done really well. 5 games, 8 points on the board. They're basically 30 points away now from staying in the division for another year. It's a great platform that they've given themselves, and the fact that they're actually able to score goals is a big thing for them. But most of their good performances, most of their points are going to come at home. So I think on the road you can still target Sunderland at times. I think for both of these players, it's a little tricky, like you say, because of the fact that they both face Sunderland at times when they've just played another away game just days earlier. And obviously there could be repercussions to that. It might have a knock from it. Form could be out the window. All sorts of things could happen with that in mind. So you don't get a clear run at the game, which is why weeks like this one, when you've got that Haaland Burnley fixture listed, it's that likely midweek rest that's jumping out as well. And Salah, I don't think any of his fixtures in this period of the season are going to match up to anything that Haaland has.
Yeah. And you just look at the individual player form as well and go, Haaland, absolutely. I mean, if we look at the other 3 I've got for Haaland, we'll work our way up. West Ham, by 17, they're going to have a different manager. Let's assume it's, whoever it is, it's probably going to be let's say it's Nuno. It's a more defence-first approach. I don't necessarily love the fixture as much. Under Potter at the moment, if that 17 fixture was West Ham in game week 6, I'd probably go there. Sunderland, again, they've got Fulham away in the week. It's just the congestion. Leeds is a great fixture because he was born in Leeds. He's playing Leeds at the Etihad, but they've just played Leverkusen 3 days before. Burnley is just when are you fresh? Now, although he did go off for 75 minutes because of a back complaint, but Pep's not worried about that. And it's just 3 games in 8 days. He needed a little break. Didn't want to push him.
Gets a whole week off, yeah.
He's now surely going to get he's not going to be in the squad against Huddersfield, is he?
No need, is there? I mean, it'd be silly to be doing that. If he puts him on the bench, it might be a gimmick just for the day. I don't know, but a Burnley at home is such a strong fixture, particularly as Pep has an 11 that he's sticking with, and he's got an 11 now that he trusts. 3 games in a row, he's picked the same starting 11. Only the 3rd time that he's done that in his 9 years at Manchester City. We don't see this from Guardiola. We're seeing something different this season, and everything is filtered to go through Erling Haaland, as I've been saying for a couple of weeks now. When you watch this team play, the aim of the game is that Haaland scores the goals that win them the games. And that is basically what it comes down to. And then they will shut up shop if they have to, like they tried to do against Arsenal by playing a 5-5 formation for the last 15 minutes. So that's where we're at. Against Burnley, there's not going to be too much room for rotation, I think. Obviously, I don't think it will be the same 11 again. But it's also a chance to really remind the team of what it feels like to go and smash someone. Like, City used to just hand out batterings left, right, and centre. It was never a surprise to see him go and score 5. And I think they need to go and score 5 against Burnley to just give them that momentum, give them that lift. And if you're going to do that, then you want Haaland on the pitch to score a hat-trick. So we'll see what the updates are throughout the week. I'm not going to go sticking triple captain chip down right this second. But by the time we get to Friday, I think there's a strong chance that I will have activated my triple captain. And if I've done that, there's only one person it's going to. It's Erling Haaland.
Guys, we'll do a poll. There are 3 options. Yes, you're going to triple captain Haaland this week. No, you're going to go Haaland in another week. Or no, you're going to go Salah in another week. Let us know what you think in the poll. I'm with Dean. Like, the form of Haaland right now is undeniable. The fact that he's relatively fresh and there's no fixture midweek, it just feels like a too good an opportunity. Now, remember, if you're on wildcard, you can't triple captain as well. Yeah. So again, if you're not on wildcard and you're definitely not doing that, it opens the door to an amazing opportunity to be different. I would say I've heard some shocking takes on this, though. I've heard loads of comments by people that are clearly on wildcard or don't like the idea of triple captain Haaland, saying Burnley will come and park the bus. It's going to be 0-0. It's like, yeah, of course, Burnley would love it to be 0-0, but that's not how football works. Like, sure, there is a world in which they park the bus. But in the same comment, I had someone go, Burnley will come and park the bus, captain him against Everton the next week, triple captain again. And it's like, oh, behave. Like, in what world do we think that City are going to score more goals versus Everton than Burnley? Of course, Burnley could be successful, and they were against Liverpool a couple of weeks ago. It was a late Liverpool penalty. We remember it well. Burnley were at Turf Moor then, and Liverpool didn't score early. If Man City go and score early, or if Liverpool had scored in the first half, that's not a 0-0 in the 90th minute. Game state is so important, and we can't always predict game state. In fact, it's hard to predict game state. But assume Man City are going to score in the first half, the floodgates could open second half. If ever there was a 4-0 win, it's not the week after against Everton. That could happen. Of course it could. It's Burnley. Play the odds. Some shocking takes by people that clearly just don't want to triple captain or can't this week.
Well,
it might be the wrong thing to do, but I think you've got to back the odds. And this fixture right here, right now, is better than the rest. I would add, on triple captaincy in general, I prefer captaining a midfielder. Just because you get the extra point for a goal, you get the clean sheet, you can actually get some DEFCON occasionally. Even Salah's had close to DEFCON. But I think this fixture and this team and the fact that the share of points in the Man City attack is all on Haaland, I'm doing it. And you lot are voting. Those 3 options at the moment, 78% of the chasers, wow, are on triple captain Haaland.
It's interesting, like, because obviously, if you wildcard, in which some people will be, to get Haaland in their team, they can't triple captain him. They can only wildcard him, like you say.
Yeah.
So again, it's another advantage for those of us that have either already got Haaland or can afford to just transfer him in directly, can triple captain him for this fixture and get an edge on those teams who are going to have a wild card, which means they've got a fresh team elsewhere, which means that they've got an edge on us in that respect. It's another reason to go for Haaland. I saw that British did ask when Haaland plays against Wolves, by the way. Week 23, so we're not until the second half of the season until Man City play Wolves. So
all those hero fixtures are before game week 19 are on that graphic.
So don't worry about that. We can deal with the Wolves game down the line. We'll get another chip for that. But for what we want right now, this is it. Look at this graphic that's up here. And it doesn't count was he get 5 goals in one game against Moldova the other day?
And scored in the Champions League against...
scored in the Champions League against Napoli. This guy's on absolute fire. And he doesn't seem like smug about it, which I like. He's a little bit just like going with it because he's like... There's none of that like stay humble stuff. No, there's none of that at the moment. It's all just like, okay, we know our place at the moment. Like, we've got some work to do. My job is to score goals for this team, and that's just what I'm going to do.
He's becoming so clinical as well. I think at times last year we saw a lot of big chances missed, and I think he fell just below his XG this season. And that 1-on-1 yesterday, there was no doubt in anyone watching that football match that he was going to tuck that away on his right foot as well. Like, he's so clear of Salah, as Maliki says, right here, right now. And I just think you've got to back the form, the fixture, and the fact he's had a midweek rest. And I'm delighted to see that. I think that poll came down only after a few seconds, but from the 57 votes we had, 77% did say yes, they're triple captaining Haaland this week, and only 4% are looking at Salah.
It killed me that, people talking about Haaland's XG and his missed chances after game week 2, and then Tottenham. So game week 2 was when they lost 2-0 to Tottenham. So people were talking about him from that game. And then in game week 3, they lost to Brighton, and people were talking about, there was a header he stuck over the bar in that game. And people were talking about those chances, like, well, he's not taking his chances. I'm like, look, I'm watching these games. As you know, like, I do eye test stuff. I'm not interested. Yeah. Well, I am a little bit interested, but I'm not like picking my team based on stats and XG and chances created or whatever. I'm watching to see what I'm like, this guy's not off it. He's bang on it. He's bang on it. He's slightly misjudged a header and got a bit underneath it at one point. And he's been unlucky with a couple of others. Like, he is in a rhythm and he's getting all of the chances in all of the right positions. Yeah. You need to be on this guy. And there's just nothing budging from that. Burnley will come and park the bus, and they are actually quite good at it, right? That is something to bear in mind. Like, Burnley are
it's
quite
what they
good
do.
At this. Yeah.
But City are a different beast. And if they score early, the floodgates.
Yeah, and that can happen for sure. And obviously, look at the Burnley-Liverpool game, for example. Like, they should have got a draw out of it. And obviously, they end up getting a red card. They end up giving away a last-minute penalty. Salah scores in the last minute. But kind of, I would look at it as like, okay, well, worst case, that happens again, and Haaland scores in the last minute.
Yeah, and it was at Turf Moor. Like, when they've gone away from home this season, they've lost. Like, Burnley lost to Man United.
They were unlucky there too.
They lost to Spurs. They had their 2 away games.
Yeah. The Man United one, they were very unlucky. But
the XG on Haaland is interesting. And I think it's been skewed by that header you talk about against Brighton. Yeah. And was it in game week 4 when it was literally like a 0.99 XG chance where he was 2 yards out with his left foot and he hit the post.
Oh, yeah, against Man United. Yeah.
Those 2 chances probably clock something like 1.8 XG. So a lot of the XG missed is those 2. He's scored 5 goals from 6.2 XG. I've just checked it. So he is underperforming his XG. But take those 2 chances out, and I know they are in, so they're in. But take those 2 out, and he's overperformed. Also, no player in the league has had anywhere near 6.2 XG, and that's all non-penalty, by the way. 6.2 XG after 5 weeks is scary. He is averaging over an XG a game. There's a lot of clubs. About half the teams in the league haven't clocked 6.2 XG. Bear that in mind.
Yeah, exactly. Look, obviously, like, they became more pragmatic in this last fixture. Pep's changing his thinking a little bit. Like, you don't normally see him adopt a game plan like the one he's just used. But his main game plan is going to be that the ball gets to Erling Haaland and Erling Haaland scores goals. Like, that's going to be the plan. And you've got to expect that with the players that they've got, providing the ammunition to slide him in behind for those chances that he's sliding past the goalkeeper into the far corner are not going to stop, because it's so difficult. I know, yes, you can provide a low block. Yes, you can do it. But ultimately, you will get caught out one way or another in the end against this player, this team. Haaland's record at Man City is 152 games, 152 goal contributions. That's absolutely insane. If you're overlooking that, you're absolutely crazy. Like, this is Burnley. I'm sorry, but like, Man City typically go and batter team. I saw someone just say Southampton parked the bus twice against City last season. They scored 1 goal or something. Yeah, that's fine. That was last season. It was last season. Doesn't matter. The
park the bus narrative is so skewed. The vast majority of teams that play Man City this season and last did go and park the bus. Just because Southampton did it and only scored 1. What about all the teams that did it and lost 4-0? There are loads of examples. It happens most weeks where Man City face an opponent that parked the bus and they win comfortably. But we remember the one time against Burnley or Southampton. Like, behave. City have this every week.
Yeah. Also, just a reminder of Man City's top goal scorers so far this season. Doku's got 1, Cherki's got 1, Reijnders got 1, Foden's got 1, Haaland's got 7.
What percentage chance, Dean, to wrap this up, are you on triple captain Haaland?
If he's if he's fine, as long as we get an indication that he's not actually injured, then 90%.
Same.
I'm
I'm
90%
on 90 as well. I'm on 90 as well.
I've obviously had this in mind for a while because I've had Haaland in my team the whole time, and I knew that I was going to be going here, and I almost hoped he didn't score in this game so that people wouldn't be doing this because I was going to do it anyway. But I'm on it, man.
Let's talk wildcard because there are a lot of wildcarders out there. About 3 in every 10 from engaged managers on Twitter. 30% of a poll I did. The benefit of not wildcarding is that you can triple captain Haaland. If you're not wildcarding, I feel like you have to use that to your advantage.
Yeah.
But the wildcard advantage is massive, and there's a reason why all the YouTubers are doing it. Some of the world's best managers are doing it because it's the optimal play. If you're going off the algorithm, it's probably the optimal play. The fixture swings, it's clear. It gets you to Haaland without hits. But to do so, my big question to the chat, and let's poll this. If you're on wildcard, do you go Haaland and Salah or just Haaland? And I think the answer is just Haaland. And I say that with a heavy heart because I have both and Dean has both. But it probably makes sense. I will show you what that optimal wildcard team looks like on a pre-recorded video this week. We don't have that draft up yet in today's show, guys, but we can discuss the positives and negatives. Dean, if you're on wildcard, how many Arsenal players are you going for? The entry point this week is bad. It's Newcastle away. But then moving forward, they are top of the ticker. They're top of the ticker, period. I would go Raya, I'd go an Arsenal defender, and I'd go Gyökeres. I think you have to triple up if you're on wildcard, which actually Game Week 7 wildcard for Arsenal would look better because Game Week 6 wildcard, away to Newcastle, I fancy Newcastle to score, and that's be a tough one.
Well, yeah, it's not even Newcastle to score. Newcastle are playing for 0-0s, it seems, a lot of the time now. And so I think I've had 3 0-0s already this season. So it's going to be tight. Like it might be decided by one goal. 1-0 to the Arsenal might be the outcome. We'll just be hoping, I'll just be hoping that Gyökeres has managed to get the goal. Obviously, Saka's now back in the fold. So like that changes our thinking a little bit. Like it's slightly earlier than I was expecting him to come back into the frame. But I think he clearly made a difference when he came on. Eze had a good opportunity in the game to score. Didn't make the most of it. I think Raya is my big regret from my wild card. Like I still am kicking myself for not bringing Raya in. So I'd say Raya definitely. Gyökeres, I don't think is a definitely that you would have to have, but I do think he's going to pay off. I think Gyökeres is just worth having because for a lack of anyone else is trustworthy. I think he'll get enough points across home matches this season, even if it's not against the top teams, that he's converting enough chances and taking penalty chances that he's worth it. He's
going to be a fat track bully, and with those fixtures, he's got the opportunity to be.
Yeah, I've just seen Little Miss FPL say, I'm losing the love for Rice. You've got to stick with Declan Rice because this is what happens. Like Declan Rice is not a consistent FPL performer, but there will come weeks when he's worth it. And that's brace. Yeah, like he will be worth it for the set pieces that he does take, for the moments he does weigh in with the goals. You just have to accept that if you are an owner of Declan Rice, you don't know when the points are going to come. And that's what's tricky about owning him. And I agree, Little Miss FPL, like I'm kind of in the same boat, especially with Saka coming back into the frame because it's another person to get over those set pieces and free kicks and corners. Like it's a bit of competition for that.
He should still get him on the left though, because he likes in-swingers, Arteta. So Rice gets 50%.
He'll still get 50%. Yeah, that's the thing. So Saka will take him from one side with his left, and Rice should still get those ones with his right. And I still think he'll take a fair few of free kicks, both direct and indirect. So I think that's still
It's
worthwhile.
annoying you don't get DEFCON off him though, because we saw the DEFCON stats at the start of the season. He has the record when at West Ham for the top performing midfielder in the last 5 seasons from DEFCON, but his role is not the number 6 at Arsenal as it was at West Ham or early on at Arsenal. And this year he's only achieved DEFCON. I'm just looking one of his games. He had 13 against Liverpool. You need 12. But in other games, he's had a 4, a 3, a 3 and a 9. Like he's really not getting anywhere near DEFCON. And I feel like when you're picking a Rice type midfielder, which is a midfielder that isn't going to go get bundles of goals and assists, you want that reliability for DEFCON. Now, at 5.5 million, you get an Elliot Anderson that's going to get it in more than half his games. And there's a lot of those guys at 5.5. At 6.5, you're getting Ndiaye, who's on pens for Everton, high up the pitch, going to get goals, assists, and actually doing even better for DEFCON than Declan Rice. So I am starting to dislike that Rice pick.
Well, China's just made a great point, though, because Arsenal were playing West Ham the week after Newcastle. And what do West Ham not like? Corners. They cannot handle a corner kick at all. So Rice sticking one right on top of the goalkeeper is not... I am making sure I have Declan Rice for that fixture. Going back to his old club and being on set pieces against that team. Okay, maybe they've got a new manager by then. Maybe that starts to change the outlook for West Ham. It's possible. But I'm not getting rid of Declan Rice at the moment. People asking if Saka's ready for 90. He's not going to get 90 yet. No, they'll be very careful with him. Like, they cannot mess this
Especially
up.
Especially with Madueke out, they have to be now.
They've got to be so careful now. And obviously, there's this balance of Champions League games now, and I don't know how to deal with that, to be honest. Obviously, I messed up with Rice a couple of weeks ago when I picked him, and he was left out of the side. So I don't know, and we're not going to get a clear pattern emerging for a few weeks yet in terms of how that midfield rotates.
Triple captain Gabriel versus West Ham, says Johan. You heard it here. I like that. Guys,
yeah,
we are 34 minutes into this episode and we've not said like or subscribe. I would love you to consider hitting that subscribe button. If you're watching for the first time, by the way, come say hi in the chat. Don't be a lurker, but also drop a comment in the video. Come say hi to us. But we would love your support and we would love to grow the channel. But to do that, we need you to share it. We need you to like it. We need you to engage with it. So thank you to the 200 plus watching live. Thank you to everyone that's watching on catch up. We're doing pre-recorded content this week as well. We've got Dean's going to put together a free hit team. I'm going to put together a wildcard team. So we're going to do a video on both those things. And of course, we'll be back with a deadline stream as normal. And thank you to everyone that's coming by and watching our deadline streams. We've done a couple of early Saturdays and we'll continue to try and do that. So thanks as always for your support. Let's talk about a couple of no-brainers on Wildcard. Couple of graphics to show you, just copied from official FPL's Twitter handle. But I thought these were useful assets just to discuss when on Wildcard, we've discussed Haaland, Salah, but how about the defenders? Like, if I'm on Wildcard, and I'll show you in the Wildcard team later this week, all 5 of them are centre-backs. DEFCON has changed the way we're picking our teams. Like, it's frustrating because I want to pick Daniel Munoz, but confusing me about this.
The thing that's confusing me about this DEFCON thing is the people that truly understand the DEFCON thing are the content creators. Yet the content creators generally aren't doing that well.
Yeah, but that's because they didn't pick... We've only understood this as the season started and no content creator wants to make defensive transfers. So now they're wildcarding. I guarantee all the content creator teams will have Senesi. A fair few will have Tarkowski. They'll all have Virgil van Dijk and an Arsenal defender and probably Anderson or a Sunderland defender that's picking up DEFCON every week. Like, it's going to be full of centre-backs and DEFCON beasts now. But yeah, it's 5-6 weeks slower because of the transfers.
Okay.
Yeah. I made a move last week. Murillo out to Senesi.
Yeah.
I saw
me too. Paid
he's
off
100%, and we were rewarded with 9 points straight away.
We were rewarded.
No brainer.
That was my transfer last week too. I was delighted to watch, and I did watch.
You had double Bournemouth defence, Petrovic.
Mate, I was probably the only person that was really, really enjoying the 0-0.
I wanted a goal, and I owned Senesi. It was such a boring watch.
Did you see the kickoffs? Have you seen the video of the two teams kicking off each half of this game?
No.
Bournemouth play the ball back directly from kickoff, flick the ball up. He does 2 kick-ups and then volleys it up in the air towards the edge of the box for like an aerial battle from kickoff.
Oh my god!
And then Newcastle's free kick in the second kickoff from the set piece in the second half is literally not just like loft it towards the corner flag, drills it, just absolutely smashes it towards the corner. Like, what are you doing? There's a proper rugby kickoff.
It's anti-football.
I was like, what are we doing? Like the Bournemouth one, I found a little bit like, okay, that's a bit interesting. That's a bit interesting because like you're actually bringing something new in and you're actually forcing a competition for the ball.
Like territory.
And it was a bit. And actually, with my under-10s team, I'm going to get them to try it because I think it'll be quite fun. I've got one kid who's capable of doing that flick-up thing, and I'm going to get him to try it on Saturday. But in the Premier League, to see these 2 kickoffs is just absolutely wild. It's like the game's regressing. It really is Sam Allardyce. Even he didn't do this, nor did Tony Pulis. Like the 2 of them need to get together and make a comeback.
Love that. So yeah, these 2 shout out for 100% records. Mukalele at Sunderland's also on 100%, by the way. He's just not played 5 games because he came in late, but his long throws and Sunderland causing all sorts of problems. But yeah, the template is going to be set for wildcard. It's so strong. It's going to be Raya in goal, and it's going to be a lot of DEFCON guys, plus your Gabriels and your Van Dijks. In midfield, though, because of the performance over the weekend, the world and their dog on wildcard will have Reijnders in. Now, Reijnders wouldn't have been in many wildcard teams if he had blanked versus Arsenal. But the fact he's fresh off a 9-pointer, he got DEFCON, which, by the way, was given the 12 defensive contributions. Opta then changed it to 11, but after the FPL deadline had passed, so he keeps his 2 points. So I got a bit lucky there. He shouldn't have got them. He only actually had 11, but Opta got rid of one too late. Again, it was the final game of the game week, and this happened with Lacroix a few weeks ago. But the other way round, he didn't get one, and one was added. So yeah, if you're a Lacroix owner and say a Reijnders bencher, you're very annoyed. But I think he showed. We've got a Reijnders graphic we'll go to, but I think he showed us in that performance that he's the best budget mid. He can get DEFCON, but he's also going to get lots of attacking returns. He links so well with Haaland, doesn't he? On the transition, he's so fast. He's a good carrier. He's already got a good chemistry with Haaland.
It's interesting because, like, obviously, I said the other day that I'd been in touch with one Man City journalist and a couple of guys who run City accounts, and they were all suggesting that Reijnders might be on the verge of just being left out for a game.
He's played every minute pretty much, isn't he? Yeah, needs a rest.
So we do need to be a bit wary of that because I don't know when that break's going to come.
Should be against Huddersfield. He shouldn't be in the squad.
Well, he will be Huddersfield, yeah. But would it also be Burnley? Would he do that?
Pep needs him, man. He's so valuable. The fact he never gets an early sub shows how much Pep feels like he needs him. He subs a lot of his attackers in games, never Reijnders.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't a player like sold by 365,000. Why? Why are you selling him?
I tweeted on Friday, why is everyone selling Reijnders? Like, people's expectations were that you need goals and assists every week from a 5.5 million asset. It's mad.
It's such a bad decision, and the patience of people is shocking sometimes. I mean, am I annoyed that Reijnders was on my bench with 9 points? Yeah, of course you're a bit annoyed about that. But ultimately, I didn't see him getting 9 points in that fixture. But I know that coming up in the fixtures that they've got against Burnley, Brentford, and Everton, I've got an asset that is cheap and is going to be playing for one of the best teams in the league who do have the potential to go on a bit of a goal rush, and that he's in there. So it's just, him and Haaland just seems like an absolute no-brainer. And I mean, it's a watered-down version of what De Bruyne and Haaland used to be. But a good price point, you get the pair of them for under 20, about 20 mil. Yeah, so it's not too bad, is it?
Yeah, not at all. What's your take on Foden? Because if he had banged against Arsenal, he'd be in every wildcard draft. But because he was quiet and came off early, people aren't thinking about him. But because he had looked so good the week before, I think he would have forced his way into a lot of wildcards. But especially with no Palmer now, Palmer's too risky a pick on wildcard with his groin problem.
Well, he might be having an op, like by the sound of it. Like Palmer,
it's not great news, is it?
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't really make out the substitution. As I didn't. Did he ask to come off, or did he? I missed
I think so. And apparently he had barely trained all week. Now,
I knew that.
He played against Bayern Munich in the week.
I only saw him walking off the pitch, and the way he was looking and shaking his head, it looked to me like he was annoyed at being taken off. And I wasn't sure if he was annoyed with Maresca or himself, but clearly it was the injury. So maybe he's annoyed the injury.
And that ruled him out the international break. Like, that's the same groin injury. Like, was he rushed back? Should he have had surgery earlier?
Well, Maresca's got to be a bit bolder, hasn't he? You can't be risking Cole Palmer.
Especially when Liam Delap's out and you've got to play João Pedro's already as the 9. Like, now we're really going to struggle. Like, what? Bonanotte is going to come in and play number 10.
There's nothing you can do about a groin. Like, you can't... Like Maliki said, he had ice on his groin. Like, you can't hide from a groin problem. It's impossible. You might get through a few minutes with it, but you can't get through a Premier League football match. And so that's a massive decision. Foden as a Palmer replacement, I don't mind, I have to say. Especially
I like it. I like
that Burnley game.
I think he'll be rested versus Huddersfield as well. My concern with Foden is he's never too far away from being on the naughty step again. And you just wonder with Pep, like if he has a bad game and Marmoush is back fit, it's like, oh, Foden played really well last week and scored, and now he's on the bench. Like he's not a Reijnders point where you go, Pep relies on this bloke. He's not a Reijnders, or like at times when he was player of the season, he was relied on by Pep. But if you take last year and the start of this, there's no guarantee even when he's playing well that he's in the 11.
No, but Pep does love him and he wants him to come back here. Like he's desperate for the resurgence of Foden. So he's going to give him plenty of minutes.
But when even
the
I'm
game.
saying be reserved on Foden, you got to listen because I am chair of the Phil Foden fan club for FPL. Like I pick him far too much. How about
Is
Doku?
Watkins gone? By the way, you finally done that, right? Let's go in.
No, he's staying.
Mate.
How
do I log off? How do I log off? How do I log off?
So yeah, I'll show you my team later in the week. But I'm not on wildcard, right? So I can only make 2 transfers, and I've managed to go Mark Guiu out to Haaland.
Go Watkins out to Haaland. You'd be better off with Mark Guiu.
I know. I probably actually regretting that a little
bit.
bit.
He might actually play instead of Cole Palmer.
The worst thing was, mate, I had to do it on Saturday night because Mark Guiu was falling to 4.3. So I had to make the decision to buy Haaland and not sell Ollie Watkins before Watkins played. If I was making those moves on Sunday, I would have sold Watkins off the back of what we saw on Sunday again. But I was like, Watkins can't do that bad against Sunderland. Villa can't look that bad. And I can sell Mark Guiu before he falls in price. So look, I will own Ollie Watkins, not only now for Fulham, but almost certainly for Burnley the week after as well. Another couple of weeks. But Harvey Elliott will not be in my 11 again. He's firmly on the bench.
Mate, I did feel sorry for you, I've got to admit. I saw the lineups and I was like,
what's going on?
I couldn't even bring myself to text you about it.
He's criticised now for passing too quickly, Elliot. He come out post-match, Emery, and said he actually referenced Harvey Elliott saying that we were too lazy and we weren't passing quick enough. And he referenced Elliott. And I'm like, whoa, that's not good.
That's very weird, isn't it? Yeah. Robert's not happy with you. He said, don't say Watkins is staying. I've promised myself I'd unsubscribe.
There's a difference between staying and buying. Like, I have other fires. I'm not saying he's a good pick, but he's staying.
What is? Hold on, let me just see.
If I was on wildcard, clearly he wouldn't be in.
Watkins has got a total of 10 points this season.
Yeah, 2.
Literally got 2 in every game.
Witz has had even fewer because he's had a 0.
8.8 million.
I know, man. And he's dropping because he was 9. And I need to buy, I want to buy Gyökeres, but I'm not going to take a hit to sell Ollie Watkins. That's just stupid.
Yeah, I mean, Gyökeres obviously, 9
Gyökeres against Newcastle, where he's also going to get 2 points. Like,
yeah, but he's got.
I'll tell you what, the Gyökeres for West Ham.
Yeah, 22 points so far, Gyökeres. And so, like, he's not setting the world on fire by any stretch, but his next game,
isn't it?
Newcastle, West Ham, and Fulham. Like, I'm not getting rid of him. Put it that way. He's still, that's what I'm sticking with. But that's a bit. I feel like that's a bit trustier than what you're doing. Emery's gone nuts, says Nikolai, sticking up for you.
Emery is nuts. I mean, it's just bizarre bloke. All right, let's move away from Gianni Reijnders. I think we've been on Watkins for a bit, and now we should probably move away from Watkins and go to, I don't know, where do you guys want to go? I mean, look, we won't discuss free hit at length because we'll do a video on that, but that is another option this week for those that don't own Erling Haaland. And there are a lot. We forget, like, Haaland's not the most owned player in the game by any stretch. He's like, I'm just going to check now. I'm guessing he's... In fact, guys, let us know in the chat. What percentage owned? Dean, I'm going to ask you. No cheating, everyone. Put your numbers in the chat. How highly owned is Erling Haaland? For perspective, Mo Salah is 51.8.
Is he? Yeah. I know Haaland's not as high as that. I think when I looked last week, he was like 35, I think he was, if off the top of my head.
Yeah, I feel like he was that. He's gone up a lot, to be fair, from then. But not... Well... Yeah, a little bit. Keep your guesses coming in. A lot of 45s, a lot of 40s. Yeah, he's 42.
Right. 42, yeah. I mean, he's on the rise then. But
went up last night, I think.
Yeah, like as he should be on the rise. Like, where does that? Where's that going to end? Like, what is the? I don't know how it works in terms of the percentages to how high.
Go up as many as 3 times in the game week.
Okay,
that is. According to the FPL rules. The annoying thing is for price changes this week is if you're on wildcard, you don't affect the price change. So it's only of normal transfers. And obviously a lot are on wildcard. So that could mean a slightly slower trajectory on Haaland. But looking at price rises tonight, guys, Senesi, Gabriel, Raya are all due to rise. Zubimendi as well. In terms of Haaland, he will likely see a rise sometime very soon as well. I'm just going to see when Haaland is next rising. He rose last night, but yeah, in 2 days' time, he'll rise again. Likely.
Yeah, it's a strange one. He's only the second most selected forward. Who's the most selected forward?
João Pedro's 50+%, I think. Yeah,
I'm forgetting about him.
Yeah, João Pedro is flying for ownership. FPL Chai's in the house.
Hey.
Do you want to plug your channel, mate? Do you want us to watch you in 10 minutes?
Oh, I'm going live in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Chai, let us know how you got on this game week. Hope you're doing well, mate. Are you
captain Bruno?
Oh, I thought my captain Richarlison. Well, he's done well with Bruno then. Look, I'm Bruno's harshest critic at times, but Bruno had a really good game at the weekend.
And killed me.
Determined performance that was worthy of a captain. So I was impressed by that.
Although if that game stays 11v11, I'm not sure Bruno or Man United have a look in. As soon as it went to 10v10, Chelsea smashed them. Like it was.
Well, yeah. Why didn't smash them? They didn't have enough shots on goal. That was your problem.
I know.
That like for you,
those conditions were horrible though.
The conditions were ridiculous. Obviously,
to produce that's hard.
And that's why you can't really take, Man United have got to take the wins where they are. But the manner of their wins so far against Burnley and Chelsea, they don't really set about any conviction, do they? So you've got to see them on an actual, quite literally, level playing field. And when Chelsea have had their goalkeeper sent off after 5 minutes in the driving rain, you can't really take too much from that. But a win's a win, and they've got it on the board.
If Raya and Chai, by the way, who is a fair weather FPLer, he always comes out with extra videos when he's doing well and stuff, and rightly so. He's so good at it, and he's a brilliant manager. He's in the top 100k already. But if FPL Chai wants to come on Chasing Green Arrows at some point this week, as described by him, so we can milk him for his rank, then you're very welcome, Chai. So let us know, and we can see your team. We can maybe do I don't know. You can join us for a deadline stream, and then we'll throw to you or something. Yeah,
let us know, Chai. Don't just steal our listeners. Come and talk to them.
Time for a return, isn't it? He says. Guys, we are wanting to take some questions as well. We got 282 of you watching live. We would love you to hit those buttons. Xhaka is a very good option. When we look at the 5 million men, Xhaka's the only one that does the DEFCON and the assist threat. There's 5 million assets, by the way. I can't remember his name. The Burnley new signing. I think his name's Fernando or something. What's the Burnley news DM? Anyway, he is a DEFCON beast. He's the best 5 million option by some distance. He's only had 2 games, but in them he had 7 DEFCON in 20 minutes, and then he got 18 in the other game. And his record, I think it was in Portugal, was DEFCON, massive. So if you're spending 5 million, by far Florentino. Yeah, he picked up 18 DEFCON against Forest, and then against Liverpool, he picked up 7 in 20 minutes. And his record, I think it was Portugal, was insane. So if you want to spend 5 million, go to Florentino if you just want the 4 points every week. He is going to get 4 points every week unless he gets booked. But Xhaka comes with probably DEFCON in 60% of his games, maybe 50. But he also does come with assist threat, not just open play, but he is on set pieces. So I do really like Xhaka, and he's in my wildcard draft.
Yeah, I mean, Jadon Anthony at Burnley is so overlooked as well, though.
No, but you got to spend 5.5 there.
It's not a lot, though, is it?
But then you get Reijnders.
He's pulling in such good scores.
He's the main goal threat in the team, isn't he?
He's the main threat in the goal team, and he's got a 10-pointer against Forest. I was just double checking what it was. He got a 6-pointer when they played against Man United. He got 13 points when they played against Sunderland, and obviously, the City game doesn't look particularly appealing, but City can see goals. And after that, Burnley play Aston Villa, Leeds and Wolves.
Winnable.
Mate, I'm telling you, that is a good pick. If you want a 5.5 option, I think Anthony at Burnley is a really good pick.
Yeah, okay. Dylan, Anthony is the second highest midfielder. Wow, I mean, that is quite something. Which keepers would you pick on wildcard? Easy. This is a very short conversation. It's Raya and Dubravka next.
Well, a few people starting to say Donnarumma.
Not for me, but I get it. Donnarumma is also great. Of course he is.
How much is Donnarumma in comparison?
Same. Him and Donnarumma went up last night. Raya's going up tonight. They'll both be, I think, 5.6.
Yeah. Leopard, we have discussed this in quite a lot of detail at the start of the show. So go back and have a look with a whole discussion about Salah. Personally, I would pick him. Wayne says best 4 million defender enabler on a wild card.
The newly promoted teams have all got really good options at 4 million this year. We've never really had this.
No.
My favourite of the newly promoted, I think, is Sunderland. But we're seeing Ekdal and Esteve at Burnley picking up DEFCONs. and some clean sheets. Rodon's great for DEFCONs, and Goodmanson has not only DEFCON, but Goodmanson at Leeds has upside, and Leeds do look good defensively. But my standout is Alderete at Sunderland. He's played 90 minutes 4 times, and in that he's had 13, 10, 11, and 9 DEFCON. So he's hit it 3 of the 4 times, and the time he didn't hit it, he was 1 off. The other option at Sunderland, who's very, very good, is Mukiele. He's only played 93 times, and he's hit a 16, a 12, and a 14. So he's even better for DEFCON, and he takes the long throws. My problem with him is he could end up at right back, because at the moment, Dan Ballard can't get in the team. And I can see a world in which Ballard does come in at centre back, Mukiele goes to right back. And if he's at right back, he ain't going to get the same level of DEFCON. So look, I would go Sunderland and probably Alderete. If not, Mukiele's great.
Yeah, I don't actually have a 4 million asset defender in my team, but they're all cheap. I've got 4.6, 4.6, 4.5, 4.6, and 5.5 in my defense. So
I don't mind that at all. I mean, the value is there.
Yeah.
And so, look, if you can find the extra money from any of the 4s to get to a 4.6 Senesi, who I think will be 4.7 by the morning, amazing. He gives you everything.
Yeah,
he's Tarkowski, but $1 million less.
Exactly. With FPL. A Grealish and GI double up. I love it.
They've got the fixtures.
Mate, their next 2 games, both at home, West Ham and Crystal Palace.
Nice.
It's nice, isn't it?
Yeah. I like Everton, and I like the Low Socks Ballers Brigade there. Those two. You got Dibbling and Dewsbury.
And it is quite hard to resist, like, wanting this team to do well. Like, I don't really have any feelings about Everton, like negative or positive, like from a personal standpoint. So I'm quite like, let's just see them ball out for a bit. I'm happy to see Everton finish 8th, 9th in the league, and just like have some weeks where they absolutely rip people apart and some weeks where they get torn apart themselves. But yeah, I reckon that's quite a nice pick to have those two at least for the next couple of game weeks. So be brave. Do I rate Muniz? Yeah. He got much better. He's got much, much better. I was very skeptical about Muniz when he first joined Fulham, but to be fair, I didn't actually realise when he joined Fulham quite how young he was. Like I always thought that Muniz was a couple of years older than he actually was, and then he went out on loan, and he came back. And I was reading something, and at the time it was like returns to Fulham, the 22-year-old or something. I was like, oh, he's actually super young. So he's 24 now, Muniz, and he's really starting to find himself. He has authority. He backs himself. Like the goal he scored at the weekend, it was such a good finish against Brentford, and then it's ruled out again for another foul from him in the build-up. So it's the second goal that's his fault, I guess, in a build-up to a Fulham goal, because there was the Josh King Chelsea one, which never, ever, ever should have been ruled out. And now Muniz has had one, which, this one was a bit more of a foul, but I personally still don't really have it down as a foul. I've got Muniz in my team at the moment. Obviously, I was double cheering when he stuck it in the back of the net. I was annoyed when I saw the old board go up. But yeah, I do actually trust Muniz at the moment, and I think that he's got to back himself. He's got to score goals because he wants a new contract. He knows that other clubs have been looking at him, and so he needs to start getting on the score sheet more frequently.
And he is getting the minutes now, which is fair. Put that pressure on him. I mean, Paul's got a good question on Raya. Do you buy him before he goes up in price? He is rising tonight. We thought he was going to rise last night, Paul. So you kind of had a night where you got away with it because I was looking at the same move. But I've got 0.5 and I've got Sanchez. And I don't want Sanchez and I want Raya. And I'm in exactly this predicament. Do I take a -4? And my decision is I'm not going to do it. One, because I could end up wildcarding in the next week or two anyway. And if I do that, taking a -4 before a wildcard is mental, especially when the fixture is Newcastle. Like, I think Sanchez could outscore Raya this week. Long term, I know I want Raya, but you can still find that money in game week 7 or 8. Because remember, you're going to make other transfers in 7 and 8 where you can find that 0.6 instead of that 0.5. So sure, for your team this week, you need to make it now. But I don't think this week he's going to haul against Newcastle. I think you wait and you will find the money later down the line. You might miss out on a few points, but you'll have flexibility and information. I think those two things are really key. -4s, I try and swerve them if I can, especially when the entry point is like, my guy's going to get 2 points off that -4. I don't expect a return versus Newcastle. Certainly not more so than Sanchez if that's who you're on like me.
Yeah, totally. There was a good question about James Garner from Leopard, and I do feel like this is worth addressing. He says, "Is James Garner being slept on for 5 million?" And he actually definitely is, because for 5 million, he's pulled in 25 points so far. James Garner, he's always passes my eye test because I love the way that he gets involved in the game. I love the price point. 25 points is the same number of points that Grealish has got so far. Grealish costs 6.8 million. And NGI is 6.5 million, and at the moment only has 3 points more than James Garner. Now, NGI will end up with more points than James Garner, as that gap that exists will probably extend and extend. So I don't think James Garner will stay quite this.
And also, Dewsbury Hall is the same price point.
Yeah, Dewsbury Hall, exactly. Yeah, is also in this. And at the moment, I have Dewsbury Hall, and I wouldn't swap Dewsbury Hall for James Garner.
That's the fun pick.
Yeah.
He's got corners and he's the number 10. Garner's playing left back or DM, one of those two things. He is picking up DEFCON, unlike Dewsbury Hall. 18, 9, 12, 16, and 9. Wow. He's had a 16 and an 18, and you only need, of course, 12 to get the cap. He's had it 3 of 5. He's going to be good, but when Dewsbury Hall's in the same team, I just don't think you can consider Garner. Like, he scored a goal, right? Take that goal away and you go Dewsbury Hall's the better pick. Garner's going to score fewer goals than Dewsbury Hall this season by where he plays on the pitch. You're not going to get 1 in 5 from Garner. You could get 1 in 5 from Dewsbury Hall.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, Everton midfield needs some respect.
Definitely does, man. They're such a fun team to have in the league this season.
Yeah, I like that. Loads of options there. Guys, if you've had one little bit of advice from today's show, because I feel like there's been some good content on today's show, and if you want to show support for that, if you're already subbed, you just hit the like button. That's your support done. If you're not subbed, your support is hitting the subscribe button. We will be back in 48 hours with a video, probably Wednesday, probably Thursday as well. Then probably a deadline stream, loads of content on CGA. But for now, we're going to say our goodbyes. Thank you to CH for modding. Thank you to all our channel members. Shout out to all our new members. And we will see you in the next.
Yeah. Cheers, everyone.